Far out in the uncharted backwaters of the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy lies a small, unregarded yellow sun. Orbiting this at a distance of roughly 92 million miles is an utterly insignificant little blue-green planet whose ape-descended lifeforms are so amazingly primitive that two of them still think doing a podcast called Digital Watches Are a Pretty Neat Idea is a pretty neat idea. These podcasters have, or rather had, a problem, which was this. Actually, this is the solution.
Hey, Jeff. So, what is this?
Well, Bryan, this is going to be the 1998 CD ROM game, the Starship Titanic, that was conceived of and written by Douglas Adams.
That's right. And as I recall, both you and I remember fondly playing this game back in the day.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as it came out, we went and got our copies.
And we did indeed. In fact, look, here's my box right here.
Hey, look at that. All right.
Pictures of the robots on the inside there, and 3 of the puzzles solved for you in the back.
Right.
And of course, we didn't know that at the time, but, that's the way these things go.
Right. But it would be like Douglas Adams to put an incorrect solution on the back of the box.
Yes, absolutely. That would be the anticipation. In fact, the anticipation of playing the game, certainly even the second time, I was prepared and braced for the worst.
Right. Well, we didn't go through the worst. We played many hours on our own and talked to each other and helped each other. But if we were going to do this episode this calendar year, I think we needed to use some cheats and some walkthroughs to get to the end.
Absolutely. I'm sure we're going to talk about that along the way. But just to give our audience just a little bit of a frame of reference, we did mention that the game was created in, it says April of 1998 when it came out on a Windows platform, CD-ROM drive. And March of 1999, they released the Macintosh version.
Okay.
And I think we even mentioned in the last podcast that Terry Jones did some voice acting. John Cleese also did some voice acting on this.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I kind of find it sort of interesting. There's 16 hours of dialogue that were recorded for the game itself.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of an amazing thing. But considering you and I played the game for, probably about 16 hours.
Yes.
I don't know that we missed any piece of the dialogue.
Okay, right. Well, actually, we did, and I'll explain a little bit about that coming up. But go on, what else about this creation?
Okay, so it was a financial disappointment.
Oh!
They expected to sell over 200,000 copies, and they only sold about 60,000.
Ouch.
Over the course of the time. And critics have praised the game for its art, which is a combination of digital art and Art Deco design, which throughout the entire game you can see the Art Deco influence.
Yes.
It's quite dramatic in that effect. But they also said that the puzzles were absurdly difficult. and the conversation engine troublesome.
Well, the dialogue engine was pioneered by him. He wanted to create a dialogue engine for this game. So
absolutely,
you got to give him some slack.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of his motivating factors in designing this game is that he wanted the dialogue to seem, fluid and like they were having a conversation with the characters within the game.
Right.
It doesn't come off that way because most of the characters are snarky and annoying.
Right.
So I'm not sure if you were supposed to feel comfortable with the conversation, but it certainly was something that Douglas Adams wanted to have occur. And I think he did that pretty effectively.
Yes. And like any text adventure game, you have to type your response to the computer. It didn't have a voice input. So typos, it doesn't understand. So it didn't have all possible typos for them to understand.
Right. And I did find that a little annoying because you did have to type things out pretty completely if you wanted to communicate directly with the characters.
Right.
Otherwise, they gave you their default response of, I'm not sure what language you're speaking, or, that's a colorful way of saying things.
Yeah.
So you did have to be a little bit careful. Although, as it turns out, when we watched, well, are you about to tell them how we went about doing this in the end?
Yeah, we had a couple of different ideas.
We did.
So the first thing we were going to do, I think, was try to do a live play cast. We would just play the game together, and one of us would be doing all the controls, which would probably be you because you had the software, and we were going to be talking our logic through finding out the game.
That's exactly what we planned.
And we kind of thought that since we'd already played the game once, that we would be able to fairly simply play and solve the game 40 years later.
Oh, how naive we were.
Yeah. So we scrapped that when we realized how many hours it was going to take to actually play the game just straight.
Right. And then I think the second thing we thought we would do is each of us would play the game until we got stuck-ish.
Right.
And then we would get back together and kind of figure out where we were going. Fortunately, you thought the better of it in the long run. We both got stuck different places, different times. And then you came up with, I think, was the best plan, which is the one we're executing now. And maybe you can tell them what we're doing.
Well, I did have an interim idea between there are walkthroughs that you can find on YouTube.
Right.
And we were just going to steal somebody's walkthrough and talk over it.
Right.
Problem with that, though, is that there are places where we want to say way more than the gameplay allows us to say. And there are long stretches of walking down hallways where we have nothing to say. And for the listen-only podcast where you don't have any visuals, it would have been a nightmare because it would just been music, this weird, ethereal music forever.
Yeah, that was an interesting concept. And to tie into your final approach, which I think is a good one, we finally did what we did originally. You and I did this when we first played this game. We played independently and then we played together. We played with, thoughts and feedback from each other.
Right.
And we made a lot more progress with that. And in this ultimate playback, we did rely a little bit on some informed information.
Yes. So what we decided that we were going to do is that we would take a walkthrough and I would put together all of the puzzles in the order that person happened to solve them. So this way we'll cover every puzzle. Problem with a walkthrough is there isn't any discovery.
Absolutely. I mean, I was trying to figure out how in the heck, when I looked at the walkthrough that you chose, it's like an hour and a half long or so.
Yeah, hour 48.
And I was thinking to myself, you and I spent maybe 4 hours on the phone and working together. And in that 4-hour period of time, we started with a playthrough from the beginning to the point where you and I met up in the puzzled area where we, lost track of what we were doing or couldn't figure out what was next. And it took us an hour and 5 minutes of gameplay.
Right.
To go straight through the puzzles we understood. And we were at about 40% of the game at that point.
Right.
And so that's, that to me was an amazing thing. I couldn't figure out before I actually watched the walkthrough, which I did again today just to refresh my memory.
Okay.
I couldn't figure out how they could play a walkthrough and do it in an hour and a half or an hour and 40 minutes or whatever it actually is. But what he does is exactly what you describe. He goes to each room basically one time, if it were possible, and does everything required of the game
right
in that room the one time.
There are things that you need in a room that you don't know you need until you're in the room. And so then you have to go out and get it and then go back. Well, because he's playing after he solved it, he doesn't ever go to that room until he has everything. So that is the elimination of discovery. So we're going to try and put in all of that discovery.
Great.
And here is one thing that I can pretty much guarantee. You can listen to this podcast and you can listen to everything we say and in detail describe every single puzzle. And if you decide to go to GOG.com, which is where we both got the game, because you can go to GOG.com, they got a ton of games. They're trying to keep games alive. You can buy for like $6.95.
Right. This one was re-released in 2015 by GOG.
So you can get this game and you can play it without the visuals in front of you, because you will not see any visuals on our YouTube or anything. You will not just run through this game like you know what's going on, even after hearing everything we explain.
Right. So even though we're going to give you every cheat in the game,
you will not remember them.
No. And you will still go, what?
Right. Because as we're telling you how to do it, you'll go, well, that's obvious. Not when you're standing in the ship. It's not obvious.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, speaking of not obvious, where did we start the game, Jeff?
Well, this game begins in a house.
That's right.
In a room in a house.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in this room, there are very few places that you can go or anything you can interact with. You basically spin in a circle.
Right.
The game will officially start when you go to the desk and open the CD drive and then grab the disc and put it in.
Right.
However, somewhere in that room, there's also a TV that you can click on. Mm-hmm. And if you click on the TV, you will get this message from Douglas Adams.
For heaven's sake, get on with it. Oh, go on, don't just sit there.
So basically, Douglas is saying, quit wasting your time and play the game already. So once you start the game, the ship crashes through the ceiling and the doorbot comes out to greet you.
Right.
He's going to give you an introduction to the game, how to play it, and its objective before he brings you up to the lobby to check in.
Right. And during that entire scene, you're basically watching what's happening. You're not interacting. There's a small piece of it you have to do. You have to push a button. You have to pick up a photograph of your house. But other than that, you're just watching a scene. And that scene is actually like 6 minutes long. Do you realize that?
I do. And we are going to let our listeners discover it right now.
I'd forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, yes. My name is Fintable. I am the doorbot serving on this, the maiden voyage of the Starship Titanic, the ship that cannot possibly, go wrong. Now, as you can see, the ship, this thing you see behind me, well, we've had a little accident. Don't worry, no harm done, just a little scratch to the paintwork, I think. Luckily, your house was quite soft. I realise this is a bit of an imposition, but we need you urgently. Will you help? Hello? Will you help? Hello? Oh, silly me. Oh, strange, deluded, benighted me. You'll need your personal electronic thing. We call it a pet. Here. Rather complicated, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. All you need to do now is type in yes, meaning that you will help, and we can get going. That's yes. Y-E-S. Excellent. You won't regret it. Well, maybe you will, but let's get you on board anyway. Anything else you want to say or ask, just type. Not now, not now. We've got to get you on board. Oh, look. A nice picture of the sky above your house. How nice. You should take that with you, you know. Good, good. The way this trip is going, it may be the last time you'll ever see that particular view. Come on. It's our maiden voyage, you see, but the ship has, well, it's lost its mind, and so has most of its crew, including me, though I do have my lucid moments. I only wish I knew if this was one of them. Oh, look, things are going from bad to worse. I can't even find the buttons now. Can you help me? Top button. Terribly sorry, it's my cell point settings, you see. Well, I don't suppose you do see, but it is my cell point settings anyway.
Embarkation lobby. Going up.
Human being, isn't it? Yes, well, of course, one's heard mixed reports. I just hope that you can sort out these problems, because none of us can. We're all robots, you see, and what's happened is that the ship's central intelligence has been lobotomized, sabotaged, if you ask me, and it's left us all unable to function properly, and you may find that we're all a little doolally. I know that I am, so it's all going to be up to you. As soon as we reach the embarkation lobby, press the button on the plinth, and we'll be on our way. Then go and see Marcinta. She's the desk bot, and a bit of a dragon when her settings are wrong. She'll check you in. All I've managed to secure for you is a supergalactic traveller class room, but I'm sure you'll manage. You can always ask Marcinta for an upgrade, but be ready to duck. You'll meet Craig the Bellbot, who should take you to your room if he's functioning properly. Then once you've settled in and made yourself comfortable, you'll be able to get on with working out what's gone wrong and fixing it.
Embarkation lobby.
Ah, here we are. I think we're about to take off again, but I'm sure that nobody's in control. I'd better go down again to secure things, but I'll be back a bit later to help you if I can. I hope you understood most of that for all our sakes. Good luck now. Good luck. Don't forget to press the button.
Wow, so now you've been tortured, like we were, and brought up to the lobby.
Yes.
Technically, I think it's more like 4 minutes, but I was exaggerating.
It's 3 minutes and 21 seconds. That's how long my recording is. So just,
Good. Nobody's going to look at that, though.
No, it feels like 6 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, you are up in the lobby now, and when we were down in the house in that conversation with the doorbot, you will have heard that he gave you something called your personal electronic thingy, or they call it a pet. And when he gives you this pet, to explain what it does, there's a setting that you can call and talk to the robots. There is a setting that will show you room chevrons that you can save. There is a setting to use the device that is in front of you. And of course, there is an inventory.
Right. It still makes me laugh that even after you and I are playing this whole game, I got all the way to the end of the game and I forgot what my pet was able to do.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
12 hours into the game and I'm still going, what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
In the lobby, there's pretty much only one thing that you can do because the game will not start until you do it. You can walk all around in a circle, but nothing else is going to happen. But as he said, you have to push the button on the plinth. And that is going to start the opening credits and play the theme that you heard at the beginning of this podcast. And after all of that, you go to the desk and push the button on the bell, and the bell transforms into the desk bot.
Right.
She's going to ask you a series of questions, and this is part of the dialogue. Answer them however you wish, because no matter what, you will end up in the same place with the Bellbot. And to give you an idea of some of the ridiculousness of the questions, here is one version that I played through just so you could see.
Welcome, guest number, 1, to the most glamorous galactic cruise ship experience in the whole of the space-time continuum, the Starship Titanic, the ship that cannot possibly go wrong. Ha! My name's Drubish. Marcinta Drubish. I am the desk bot. Do you have a reservation? I thought not. But I see that Fentable thinks we should take you on board. Ha! Soft-hearted fool. I don't see that you're going to be any help. As far as I'm concerned, you're just a freeloader. Ah, well. Better get you checked in. What sort of breakfast would you like in the morning? Continental or the full porky? Huh, good choice. Newspaper? The Baronton Bugle? The trumpet? Saxophone? Kazoo? Okay. How do you like your room? With a view? Okay. Corner or balcony? Good choice. Bed? Imperial? Royal? Presidential? Despotic? King size? Queen size? Prince? Princess? Princess plus? Constitutional or absolute? Good choice. Fish? Good. Well, you certainly won't like the room you've got then. You've been assigned to Supergalactic Traveler Class, Elevator 3, Floor 33, Room 8. And don't come whining to me for upgrades, because you won't get one. Craig!
Bellbot, to the embarkation lobby.
Hi, I'm Craig. I'm your bellbot today. Hey, I see you're not carrying any luggage. That's great. I can take a little time off right away. And I see you're Supergalactic Traveler Class, so I guess you can find your own way to your room. The door's over there. The elevator's round someplace. Relax, stay cool, enjoy.
So you heard all these different choices that we had to make.
Yep.
Every choice you make will initiate a different response from her.
Right.
So there's all these questions, and depending on how you answer, depends on what she says. So there is a lot of dialogue you will never hear unless you decide to play the game and make every different choice over and over and over. So he prepared.
Right, except who would choose anything other than a despotic bed? I mean, come on.
Or the full porky.
Oh, the full porky. You gotta have the full porky, right? I mean, you're not gonna go through play the game just for the continental breakfast. Good grief.
No. Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh.
So one thing you could have probably heard when you were listening to that is the robots are kind of surly.
Mm-hmm.
But what you need to notice, but usually won't at this point when you're playing the game, is that on the left-hand side of your pet are 3 dials. And some of the dials can be red and some of them can be yellow. When all of the dials are red, your robots are pretty much bastards.
Mm-hmm.
If the dials are yellow, they're much more agreeable to doing things that you ask them.
Right. And that isn't obvious. In fact, it's funny because, again, like you said, you lack discovery. You and I did discover that in this second playthrough. And it wasn't until we were playing together, after both of us had played maybe 8 or 10 hours, that it became a part of what we needed to know.
Right.
And immediately after that, it did help the gameplay quite a bit.
Right. You can see, obviously, the two things are connected.
Right.
But then you have to go, oh, they're connected.
Exactly.
So one of the first things that you can do as the supergalactic traveler is you can go into the Parrot room and you can take the Parrot.
Right.
You can find an extra perch and take that. And while you are in the room, the Parrot will escape.
Right.
There is a succubus and a TV in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we don't learn until long into the game is that when you are in a room, it will show the chevron in your pet.
Right.
We always saw that. But what
yes,
we
we
didn't
did.
know is you can grab that chevron and drag it into your inventory.
Correct. And the other thing that we didn't know and took forever to discover, well, it was there, but it wasn't obvious. When you're in your pet and you're looking at your chevron screen and you hover over the chevron, it'll say, click shift to edit.
Yes.
And you're like, it says that, but it doesn't dawn on you till much later in the game that there's actually a function you need to do in order to maintain the memory of a chevron. That for us, when we went into the Parrot room the first time we saw it, because we interacted with everything in the TV included, which took us through different channels, and there's some frozen images of camera views, and one of them shows a chevron upside down,
right?
And it provides an address, if you will, for later gameplay. And it was interesting because, again, like you said, there's no discovery for the person who's playing in the playthrough. He simply goes up to the chevron, takes it, and sticks it into his list of chevrons and moves on.
Right.
As if, oh, yeah, everybody knew that.
Yeah. And because everybody does deserve to have to listen to Terry Jones, we are going to do a short little clip here of what the Parrot sounds like.
You are entering Parrot space. Tickets, please. Show your passports. Get a bloody move on. Give us a nut. Give us a nut. Give us a bloody pistachio. Ouch! Oi! Unhand me, you person! Stop it! I shall screech! I shall screech! Screech! No, screech! Don't say I didn't warn you! I'll pick you! Screech! Screech! Ah, you can't keep a good parrot down! And especially, you can't keep a bad parrot down!
All right, so you can leave the Parrot room and you can look at the chevron that you got when you checked in, and you can see your Super Galactic Traveler's room, and it will give you an elevator number, a floor number, and a room number. So using those, you can go to your room.
Right.
When you get down to the correct floor and you exit the elevator, you will see in front of you a door and a menu. And it will have a variety of differently sauced chicken. The door next to the menu, you can open, and if you click a button, it will dispense a chicken that will fly away and you cannot retrieve it. So this is part of the discovery that is skipped in a walkthrough.
Right.
And here's something that I laughed at when I was watching the walkthrough, and I don't know if this happened to you or not, but I was just going, oh my God, I can't believe this. So you walk into the room of Super Galactic Traveler rooms, and I'm going to say that there are 6 of them across the floor.
Right.
And say you've got room number 12. You can find that there are elevator buttons that will take you to different floors, but each door doesn't have a chevron, and trying to match the chevron to the door you need can be a little confusing. So I've basically just counted from left to right, then go up left to right. So to me, 12 was going to be the far right, second one up. And then I would just go there. When I was watching the walkthrough, he looked up at all the doors above him. I'm like, I never looked up. In all of my gameplay, I never looked up to see. I just knew they were there. I mean, I didn't have to see them, and looking at them doesn't help you in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all.
But I'm watching the walkthrough, and I saw a view that I never saw because I never decided to look up.
Yep.
Anyway, that's
it's funny, and I think that's one of the gameplay rules. I don't mean rules, but the thing about playing all kinds of video games, gamers never look up.
Right.
I've heard that a lot.
Right.
But you're right. That whole finding your room, the first time we found it, it must have taken me forever. I mean, you do see when you walk up to the door, the chevron of the door that you're standing in front of. And they are linked together in a discernible pattern. but it takes quite a bit of time to understand what that pattern is.
Right.
And eventually you'll find your door. I mean, you got 12 to choose from, or 14, or whatever it is. So it doesn't take too long.
Right.
But...
And if you go in the wrong room, it won't let you do anything. It will say, this is not your room.
Right. Right.
Once you are in your room, you're going to hear an announcement that you may have qualified for an upgrade.
Yay!
And you need to turn to channel 3 to find out how to get it. Well, you can't look at the TV until you have the bed set up the right way, and there's all of these different things in your room that you can pull out and set up. But if you do it all in the correct configuration, we'll actually leave that out of this podcast. Your bed will inflate. So if you do everything and your bed doesn't inflate, you can't look at the TV.
Right.
You open up the bed. If your bed inflates, ta-da, you've done it correctly. You can go up on the bed and you can turn on your TV with your pet and flip through the channels.
Right, right. Oh boy, I tell you, you talk about your memories of particular scenes. This one is burned into my memory because literally you have, I think it's 9 different items that you can click on and activate.
Yes.
In the end, even the gameplay guy, the one we were watching, clicks on 3 of them. Right? No, he actually clicks on 5 of them.
Yeah, more than he needed.
Right. And once you activate the bed in the right way, it eliminates a couple. So I never would have figured it out without assistance, because you and I both played through this part and got stuck.
Right.
Trying to get, I didn't even think I had to actually physically get on the bed, but you do. In the end, you have to move your character onto the bed before you can actually look onto the television.
Right. And channel 1 of the television is nothing. Channel 2 shows settings for a season and a pollen count. Channel 3 is your upgrade announcement saying that you're going to get an in-flight magazine and go to the succubus to retrieve it. Channel 4 is an upside-down chevron, and this is what you will enter into your adjustable, clickable chevron so you can save it.
Right. It turns out to be a first-class room that you want to access later.
Yes. One of the good things, I guess, about this game is if you make a mistake in entering the chevron, have something in the wrong spot, it's going to say, this chevron doesn't go anywhere.
Right. Or you're not, and the other one I saw was an edited version where it says, you're not likely to go to this location.
Or something. Yeah, there's some message that lets you know that you're wrong. And when you do have it correct, you will get the elevator number, the floor number, and the room number of a first-class room. Channel 5 shows you a random elevator floor number, which happens to be 27.
Right, right. And this, it was so funny. When you and I were playing, I didn't realize until I watched the walkthrough this afternoon that it dawned on me what must have happened. Because the elevator number is also important. The floor number is also important for later gameplay. And by some stupid accident, I did it the way it was supposed to be done without even remotely realizing that I had skipped over all these extra steps.
And I was swearing at you.
Yes, you were.
Just open the elevator. It won't open. We'll get to that part later when we get there.
I know, but it's funny because I didn't realize the significance of the floor number until today when I was looking at it. And that's so funny.
So there are 2 more channels, 6 and 7, and there's nothing on either of those channels.
That's right.
So you exit your room, you go to the succubus, and you get the in-flight magazine with your upgrade. You go to the lobby, and you give the magazine to the desk bot to get the upgrade to second class.
Right.
Now you're going to have a second chevron in your inventory with your second classroom. So you get your first classroom, and you'll have your second classroom. And if you were smart, you will have that first class room that you entered from the TV.
Right.
So if at that time you decide, hey, I'm going to go see what's in my second classroom, all you are going to learn is that there is a bowl of pistachio nuts and 3 bowls that are not pistachio nuts.
Well, that's not the only other thing you learn. The other thing you learn is how to make Bryan insane.
Okay.
And possessed by an object that has 0 meaning.
The light bulb.
I even thought it was funny because here is, in the walkthrough, the person playing the game actually does click on the port light.
Yes.
Which opens up and it shows you a light bulb. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, well, the port opens up and it shows you a light bulb. It must have some importance.
And I'm finally going to get to learn what it is watching the walkthrough.
Watching the walkthrough. And he closes the port and leaves the room. But I was obsessed with that stupid light bulb for at least 8 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I was insane.
Yeah.
Red herring.
You can leave your room now, and you can go back to the top of the well, and that's what they call the first floor. So when you get on the elevator, you were going to run into a lift bot. And basically, he's going to tell you war stories, and you just explain what floor you want to go to. You can just type in the number, and he'll take you to that floor. If you want to say, I want to go to the lobby, he'll say, okay, and he'll bring you up to floor 1, and then when you get there, he'll say, top of the well, you can walk to your requested destination. So you can just type 1, and he'll bring you to the top of the well as well. And I'm going to reference that in a little bit.
Right. And to be fair, this is where, I swear that between the play that you and I did together and each of us did independently, the longest stretches of the game are getting on the damn elevator and waiting while it goes up to the floor.
Right.
And waiting while it goes down to the floor.
Yes.
And then you get on another device later called the Pelevator, and you have the same sequence of waiting and waiting. Oh,
right.
It's just needlessly long time for gameplay atmosphere.
So by being upgraded to second class, you have access to 2 additional rooms that you could not enter when you were Super Galactic Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is a metal sculpture gallery.
Right.
And when you walk into this metal sculpture gallery, things look kind of familiar, and they've got these little buttons, and you click on the buttons and they don't do anything. And you wander around and you click buttons and you click buttons. For hours, just clicking these buttons and clicking these buttons. And nothing is happening. So you're thinking you've got to do something else first to make these things activate. So you leave and you look around other places, and then you come back and you click them again, like doing it this time, because what it meant was you needed to walk around the top of the well some more and then come back, and it's going to work.
Oh, gosh, holy moly. You're absolutely 100% correct. And again, we were playing independently for a while, and during that time, I accidentally stumbled onto an answer that I didn't even realize was the answer until you and I started playing together.
Right.
And I mentioned to you that when you go up to a specific sculpture,
right,
and you click on the clickable area, it activates the little power meters, if you will, on the lower left-hand side of your pet.
Right.
And you can create a condition where the power meters are in the up position, which turns them yellow.
Right.
All of the sculptures can move 2 of the dials, and only one sculpture can actually move all 3.
Right.
But what I said to you and what I remembered was, I said, after I turned one of the sculptures to yellow, yellow, red, the robot became more helpful. I mean, actually gave me helpful advice. And I thought, well, that's interesting.
Right.
Well, and in the gameplay, the guy knows exactly what to do. So he goes and clicks every one of them yellow, 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 walks all the way around the room, makes sure every one that could be yellow is yellow, and he walks out, and immediately he goes to the desk bot and gets his first classroom.
Right. So all of these sculptures have a vague representation of one of the robots you encounter.
Yep, absolutely.
So, once you've gone through and made all of the dials as yellow as you can get, you can go to the desk bot over in the embarkation lobby, and she acts kind of drunk and I don't care, take an upgrade.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And it's so funny because here it is on the walkthrough that we're watching. He must be like 10, 15 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
And he's already got his first class room.
Right. Right. Right.
Well, here we are, 10, 11 hours into the game, still trying to figure out how to get our first class upgrade.
Yeah. Well, I'll guarantee that wasn't his first time playing.
Oh, gosh, no. See, that's the other thing. You had mentioned that he must have played once before. He must have played 30 times before.
Right.
To know, exactly what you had to do in every single room. But I got to say, there's one thing in this particular room that it becomes blatantly obvious after you played it a couple times or looked at it a couple times.
Okay.
Where he's referring to the Dirk Gently approach that everything is connected. Because when you walk into the room, you're looking at this massive, what looks like computer cord.
Right.
Where the little pins are on one side and the little, the receiving end is on the other side.
Right.
And they're just about touching.
Right.
So it's a pun, basically saying everything's connected.
Right. Yes, it is.
And that's the humor that you expect from Adams.
Right. So now that you have your first class room, you are welcome to go to your first class room, but you really don't need to bother because there's nothing that you need to do in your first class room.
Right.
However, it does give you access to the first class floors, and you need to go to the other first class room that you saved in your pet by looking at the upside down chevron. So if you go to that room and you start clicking on different light bulbs, you will find a loose light bulb. The first time we played this, I was completely stuck on this, and you were trying to give me some sort of clue as to how I was going to solve it. And I don't remember your exact clue, but I'm wandering around this first class room and I'm asking you what to do, and you're like, kneel at the altar. I'm like, what are you talking about? But basically, you have to find a loose light bulb, and then you call the bellbot, who you've already made agreeable.
Right, and that's the clue.
Yeah.
That's the other clue, too, yeah. You had to have him in the up position at the sculpture room before he's going to do what you want him to do.
Right, because you can do all of this without them in the agreeable position, and they're just going to tell you, screw you.
That's exactly right.
So, when the bellbot does fix the light bulb for you, you will get one of Titania's eyes.
And it's so funny that that's the first thing that this playthrough guy gets.
Right.
Is one of Titania's eyes. It's funny to me because the first class area, first class rooms are useless.
Yes.
Except to give you access to areas that you need later. And it's annoying because they're extravagant and they're large and there's space and you can click on everything and look at everything and you wander around and you wander around. So it wasn't obvious that there was anything you could do at all until you found the loose light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really it.
Now that you've got that eye, go back to the Parrot room. If you look around the room, you can see that there's this sconce that is sneezing, and you can tickle it with a feather, and you can see that. So when you stole the parrot the first time and he flew away, he did leave a feather. So you can use that feather and you can tickle the sconce, and the nose is going to bounce up and down, but there's nothing you can do to get it. So...
And trust me, you're going to try everything under the sun.
Right, right.
Once you figure out you can tickle the thing with a feather to get that dang nose.
And the parrot is always kind, and he goes back to his cage. So you take him again, and he is always screaming about pistachio nuts. Parrot always
Right.
wants pistachio nuts. So you know there are pistachio nuts in your second class room. So take the parrot, stuff him in the succubus, and send him to the second class room.
Right.
Do you want to talk about Mother?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that. To the succubus, I'm not sure. I mean, when we were playing the game and we finally figured that part out, it didn't become immediately obvious how you get the succubus to send anything to a specific location.
Right.
I don't know that there's any gameplay or function that gives you that information, but you have to basically drag the chevron on top of the succubus after you activate him, make sure he's working. Drag the chevron onto him, click it, it rings a bell, and then you put whatever you intend to send into the basket, and it sends it to that location.
Right.
But again, I'm not sure there was any gameplay that gave you that instruction or helped you understand that that was the instruction you were intended to use.
I think it is something that I'm going to call inevitably intuitive.
I guess.
It is intuitive eventually. How do
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
where to send it? Well, I have this chevron. Maybe I'll try that.
Yeah, because if you try it to send anything anywhere without using the chevron, it's going to end up in Mother's mouth.
Right.
Which we haven't gotten to yet, but I guess we're going to get there eventually.
But yeah, we'll go talk about Mother later. But if you don't put the parrot in with the chevron, it'll say, "Oh, go see Mother," or something like that.
Right.
If it's something that it doesn't matter if it's lost, he'll just say, "I lost it."
Right, right. And we do know that the succubus will eat chicken.
The succubus will eat chicken. Yes.
How many chickens? Well, infinite numbers of chickens.
Correct. All right. So now that you have sent the parrot to your room successfully by using your chevron, you can go there and retrieve it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, go there and retrieve it means a long walk down hallways and a long trip down elevators and a long walk to your room and through
Just
your room.
Just to let the parrot, or get the parrot retrieved from the succubus.
And then he seems to have disappeared. Like,
right.
He'll say, "I'm gone," and you think he's gone, but you've got to walk around and kind of click on the pistachio nuts, and then the parrot will fly over and land and then eat all the pistachio nuts.
Right. And once he's done that, he's actually revealed the ear of Titania.
Right.
You know, one thing we didn't talk about, and this is true because we're playing in the order that the walkabout was played, and you and I had already played the game. Again, not intuitively, but if you were a first-time player of this game, do you think you would have automatically or fallen into Titania's chamber? I mean, obviously, I guess we did when we played it the first time. But you and I knew where it was and knew that it was a function of the game before we even started playing.
Right.
So we knew we were looking for parts of Titania, and they do mention them in the character's name, but getting to the chamber is not an obvious thing.
No, but when you're a first-time player, it's where can I go? So you just spend an hour walking and trying to go into every door and down every elevator, and you will find the entrance to Titania. And then you're going to go down and you're going to go, "Whoa." And we'll get down there when we need to, because we don't quite need to get
Which
there
is,
yet.
in his case, is like the last thing he does.
No, he's coming up real close. Real close.
Okay.
So now that you've got Titania's ear, we are going to get another piece. So we are going to now go to the bilge room. And here is where we're going to meet Mother.
Right.
So you take the loose feather that you have and you put it in the succubus.
Right. You got the loose feather, by the way, by grabbing the parrot and picking it up the first time.
Right.
So the first time you picked up the parrot, you got a feather.
Right. And that feather will stay with you the entire game. So you can tickle the nose of the sconce and everything else with the feather. But you use that same feather to make the succubus sneeze. And then when the succubus sneezes, it is going to sneeze out Brabastigan. And two things are going to come out with Brabastigan, which is a yellow olfactory center and a blue fuse.
Right.
So you take both of those, and now here is where he goes to Titania's chamber.
He does.
Which is on one of the ends of the top of the well, the center part of the top of the well where you can look down or you can look up. And this part always confuses me because you don't ever know which way you're going. Are you going up? Are you going down? I don't really know what's going on. But you just go for the ride and you go see Titania.
Right. And remember, we did talk about the book the last time, last podcast, where we discussed the book. So Titania's space is inverted gravity. So you're literally turning yourself upside down and backwards, basically.
Right.
When you're going into the chamber that contains Titania.
Right.
So they try to make an effort of making you think you're spinning around in a circle and going upside down and that kind of thing.
Well, they do a good job.
Yeah, they do.
So one of the rooms down in Titania's chamber has a fuse box. And it keeps asking you if you really want to open this, and you just keep clicking the fuse box door until you get to the fuses.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this part confuses me because the succubus is operational.
Mm-hmm.
We've already sent the Parrot. We've already gotten our in-flight magazine.
Mm-hmm.
But according to that panel, it's off.
Right.
So to me, it should have been turned on. Like all the other things are turned off. But the succubus should have been turned on so you could look and you could see, oh, I know the succubus is working. This is the on position.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to turn all the other ones on. 2 already have fuses. The red and the yellow, I believe, are already in, but you need to turn them on. And then you have the blue fuse. You can add the blue fuse and turn it on. There's a green fuse you do not have yet, so you can try turning it on, but it's automatically going to just shut itself back off.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah, and you know what? I think there may be an answer there inadvertently, because when you actually watch the walkthrough, it isn't until much later in the game that he does his first save.
Okay.
But when he does his first save, he's already saved the game like 5 times. So I really think that the visit to the fuse room has to take place earlier, and it has to take place somewhere right after you go down to see Mother and tickle her with the feather and get the fuse, because I think that's what will activate its functionality of actually sending it to a specific location. I think anything you put into it prior to that is going to end up in Mother.
Right. Or is it possible that you had to go to Titania's room and turn the succubus on before you could get your in-flight magazine?
It is possible.
You know, because that was all skipped through here. So again, like I said, you can listen to us and try and play the game, but you're not going to have any better time.
Oh, you should though. It's fun.
Well,
it's fun for a while.
I don't know, but it was turned off. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know if that on off is that important with the succubus or not. But anyway, that's really neither here nor there. We're going to kind of continue on.
Yep.
Go back up to the top of the well and go to the art gallery, which is across the hall from the metal sculpture gallery. When you first go in, you are going to see a lever and a glowing head down the hall. Don't touch the lever.
Oh, tell us how we know. Well, see, and this is the funny thing. Having played his previous game, I was paranoid even the second time I played this, Starship Titanic, that is, that if you did things out of order, you were going to have to play the game again from the beginning. I played this game for 12 hours this last couple of weeks, and I still felt like I was going to fall into that little trap. As it turns out, it doesn't play that way. There's certain things you can't do unless you've done some other things before that. But the fact is, you can pretty much do everything you need to do in pretty much random orders and play through this entire game. You don't have to worry about, oh, I had to do this step before I did that step. Other than, of course, the fuses and stuff, which we've talked about.
Right. So when you were in the art gallery, you can walk around to each of the glowing blue heads, which seems to be looking into a window that you can't see into because the head is in the way. But if you click on the head will spin around and you will see the face and you will see a name. So the three sculptures are of Leavinus, Scraliantus, and Brabastagon. And make a note of where each head was in position. Douglas Adams is Leavinus.
Right.
So that's his head. I don't know who the other two are. I didn't
either.
pay attention or even look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've noted all the positions of who's looking in which window, then you can pull the lever. There's going to be a big power down. The light's going to go off and all the heads are going to crash to the ground. So you will never be able to see who was where.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you go to each one of the windows, you will see a single word, either this or that or other. And you mark which person was looking at which word for an optional thing later.
Yeah, and it's totally optional. Because I watched this again during the walkthrough, and I'm like, there must have been a reason. There wasn't.
No. If you would like to, you can go back down to Titania's chamber, and the room that has the fuses also has a computer. In that computer, you can use a login name and the password to read all of the email correspondences between the three people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're long. You want to believe that there's something in there that will give you a clue as to what's going on. And there may be, but I've got a really difficult time reading that much nonsense.
Well, I read it again, just because he was so kind as to scroll it through the walkthrough.
Right.
The first time you read it through, I thought all those numbers and something would have some kind of effect. Because we also know, while we're walking around Titania's chamber, that there is a bomb.
Right.
And if you're dumb enough to activate it, or smart enough to activate it, whichever one of those two it is, you don't really need to in terms of the gameplay, as we found out. There is a code that you need to deactivate it. So you get the impression that the code is somewhere inside of the language of those emails and that kind of thing.
Was it in there?
It's not.
It's not in there?
Nope.
Because
not even in the least.
I don't ever remember hearing it, but I've read that somewhere in one of the speaking things from one of the, it could be from the bomb, it could be from whatever, that somebody says the phrase.
Yeah.
Who says it?
Well, okay, so once you've activated Titania and she's apologized for the...
Oh, no. That's the end. You cannot go back and disarm the bomb at that point, can you?
Yeah, you could. Because remember,
so we'll get to that later.
Yeah, okay.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later then. So we're not going to worry about that because that's jumping too far to the end.
Okay.
But there's nothing before that.
No, nothing before that would give you an idea of what the password or passwords are to deactivate
password
the bomb.
Phrase.
But you're led to believe that the password phrase would be inside that email stuff, and it's not.
Okay. One of the things that you can do now that you are a first-class passenger is you can take the gondola to the Arboretum. When you are at the Arboretum, you can go left or right. On the left, there is a fake Pellerator.
Mm-hmm.
So you open that up, and you will see a succubus under there, and you will see a hose. You take the hose. As you spin around, you will see in the distance that there is another gondola that you cannot get to, but it will let you look at it.
Right.
So now you can go back and you can look at the Arboretum, but at this point there's nothing you can do at the Arboretum. So you can continue to the other side, and there is another Pellerator which will take you through some other rooms that the gondola passes by. So the gondola is a point A to point Z. The Pellerator will let you go to points between.
Right. And you did make an obvious, well, not obvious. It wasn't obvious to me, but you made an observation when we were playing the game and we were stuck trying to figure out what's going on, that when you're in the gondola and you look at the gondolier and his great big mouth is going up and down as he's quote unquote singing, that has to be Titania's mouth. Right.
But you can't get that at this point.
And you can't get that from him.
And you can't get it from him. Right. So, in the real Pellerator, go to the promenade deck, which is the farthest that you can see. Mm-hmm. So you enter this Pellerator, and you're going to see a panel in front of you. Then you're going to click on the panel, and it's going to zoom in, and then you can click whichever button you want to go to the room. So he just started in the far top left of the rooms and goes to the promenade deck. And then you wait, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes. And then you will more than likely hear something that I got totally tired of hearing, which is this.
Please exit other side. This is very confusing, I know.
Oh my goodness. I appreciate you sharing that with our audience.
Yes. So now you're in the promenade deck and you're looking and you see a giant fan and there's a flock of starlings and you're not quite sure what you're supposed to do. So then you look and there's a speed control fan for the
ventilation fan.
There's a speed control for the giant fan, for the ventilation fan. And to the left of that, there is something that's got this giant hammer on it with a blue button. And it keeps telling you need to poke the button with a long stick. Well, you happen to have a perch, so you try and poke it, and nothing happens.
Right. Now, before you explain the next part, this is really one of those things where discovery is way out of order. Okay. The way the gentleman played it, you do have the perch, but you don't even know that a long stick exists.
At this point, the way he played
it. To bring you back around, so there's a space in your Super Galactic class lobby that seems to be useless. It's got a chair. It's got a picture of the Mona Lisa. You can click on the Mona Lisa. You can turn around in the chair. And when you turn around, you can see a stick and you can try and get the stick, but it'll tell you that you can't get the stick because you have to break the glass with something like a hammer.
Right. And as you mentioned, it specifically says a long stick.
Right. A long stick. So I think that now that we're here in this particular part of the playthrough, I have to believe that Douglas Adams decided that he had to include one of his favorite old jokes
okay,
into his Starship Titanic playthrough. Because you're looking at the hammer. It tells you in order to poke the red button at the top, you need a long stick, but you don't have one because you don't have the hammer.
Right.
So what is the answer to getting the hammer out of the hammer cabinet? Go ahead. What is it?
You poke it with the perch.
How many times?
And then you poke it with the perch again.
Yep.
And then you poke it with the perch a third time, and it will magically open.
And this is the annoyingest part of this game, because there's more than one time, I should say, where in every other gameplay you ever played at that time and past that, if you have a device that's going to interact with a certain field, it's going to do it the first time you do it. You don't automatically assume, oh, well, if it didn't work the first time, I'll try it again. Oh, if it didn't work the second time, I'll try it again.
Right.
So I don't know if you know the very bad joke, but I will try to clean it up here a little bit for you.
Okay.
So this is the joke that Douglas Adams has decided to torture us with.
Okay.
You know what happened last night?
What happened last night?
Well, I was out with my girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And you know what she said to me?
What'd she say?
She said she wanted it 9 inches, and she said she wanted it to hurt.
Okay.
So I gave her my 3-inch 3 times and slapped her in the face.
That would equate to this puzzle.
And trust me, it hurt.
Yes, right. So to recap a little bit, the first time you got your supergalactic room and you went down to the supergalactic floor, you're going to explore that entire floor.
Absolutely.
You're going to see that there's chicken. You're going to see that there's a menu. You're going to see that there's a useless chair with a painting that smiles or doesn't smile, depending on if you click on it. And you can see there is a long stick that you can't get because it's behind glass.
And you need a hammer to get it.
And you need a hammer to get it.
You're going to get extremely frustrated by this whole play.
Right, right. And then we'll also talk about this as we go through this, because he went through the rooms backwards.
Yes.
There is no way anybody playing this game who has access to the Pellerator and the second class area isn't going to go in the Pellerator to the rooms in a specific order, as in closest to the top of the well to farthest to the top of the well.
Right.
So he's doing this in a backwards order that is not the way a normal person would actually play this.
Right, right. In fact, like we mentioned earlier, he's playing it as if he knows what to do, you know? So each time he goes to a room, he activates or does every function that needs to be done within that room. Now, there's the occasional thing, like the second classroom, and why he even bothers to go to his first classroom at all,
right?
I'm not sure, except to show you what it looks like.
Right.
Because you don't need to go to your first classroom.
No. Okay, so once you have poked the button 3 times with your 3-inch, you're going to get a hammer. You can also then turn the fan on high. So first you turn the fan on, and then you set the speed setting to high, and then the graphics are going to take over, and it's going to whisk you around, and you're going to watch all of the starlings get sucked into the fan, and all of this purple goo is going to go all over and disappear.
Right.
If you played it this way, there's nothing that's going to confuse you. You're going to be, okay.
Yeah, okay, that happened.
So from here, he's going to go to the music room.
Right.
Which is in the middle of the two. And then the bar is after that. I want to talk about the bar before we talk about the music room, because it's related to the starlings and the confusion.
Right, absolutely.
So we're going to go to the bar, and there is a bartender, and he will give you a glass. And you take the glass. Like, okay, I'll take the glass. But there's really nothing else that he's going to let you do. And you can look behind and click on this blue glowing piece on the shelf behind him. And some voice from somewhere, probably the bartender, says, that looks like Titania's Vision Center. Mm-hmm. But you can't get it.
Right.
Bartender has to give it to you, but he's not agreeable. And there's no levers in the mechanical sculpture thing that's going to make him agreeable. But there's a TV, and on the TV is a recipe, and it's for a Titanic titillator. And the objective is to get the ingredients for the bartender to make this drink.
Right.
And basically what's going to happen, we'll get to this in a minute, is he's going to make the drink, he's going to drink the drink, he's then going to be drunk, and he's going to be agreeable, and he'll give you the Vision Center. That's what you're hoping.
Right.
But now you got to find all of these pieces.
Right.
The recipe says that you need a lemon, a smashed TV, vodka, and most importantly, pureed starling. So a normal person has gone to the bar, gotten a glass,
right,
know that they need pureed starling. They get to this room, they watch the starlings get pureed with no way to get them.
Right. No way to get the juice. No, nothing you could do. And I spent hours trying to figure out, well, maybe I could set the glass here or put the glass there. And then when I got the hose, I thought, oh, maybe I can use the hose to attach it here or attach it there.
Right.
I mean, you spend hours trying to figure that out. And again, I'm stuck in the mindset that if I've done something once, it's never going to be another opportunity to do it again. So the pureed starling thing really distracts you because you think you have to get the juice at that moment.
Right. So therefore, I have to replay the game.
Well, you don't. Yeah, you play the game and then you have to go back to a save because you think, oh, I can't dice them up yet. I don't have the right stuff.
Yeah, I got to figure out what I need before I can turn on this fan, because once these starlings are gone, they're gone and they're not coming back.
Right. And they don't.
No.
They don't come back.
No.
You don't get an opportunity second time to puree them. So, yeah, that puzzle was especially intense for me. I just was really frustrated by that.
Right. So now that you've got the glass and you've made a list of all the ingredients you made, we're going to go back to the music room.
Right.
In there are chairs, there's a recorder, there's a panel in front of the musicians, we'll call them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is funny because I read this in some sort of a review of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the person who did this review solved the music room puzzle was from the box.
Right. And that's what we were talking about right at the beginning.
Right. And watching the walkthrough, those chairs are really difficult to see in his walkthrough. I mean, I'm sure he didn't ever go up to him. Didn't you? Weren't you able to go up to him and look at him at a different angle?
Yeah. And that's funny because, that was about when we got together after 8 or 10 hours of play. You and I got together and you said, oh, I solved it by looking at the box. And I said, oh, I solved it by looking at the chairs. So, yeah, you can look at the chairs and see the pattern of what the music is supposed to be, and you can go back and forth. It's not really easy to do because you have to make an interpretation of where the little sliders are.
Right.
The turning knobs are not so hard, and the top left corner doesn't move. So you're only dealing with 3 of the 4 quadrants that you have.
Right.
But eventually I was able to go back and forth between the chairs and the little setup screen and get the music lined up properly. And it is true that, although weird, the music sounds correct once you get them in the correct position.
Right, because it's playing all of the same notes of the music and pieces of the music just out of order.
Right, and at different tempos or different orders.
Right.
Or,
Right. So once you've got the correct setup and the music is playing correctly, you go over to the recorder. You set it to record. There's a recording cylinder inside there. You can play with that, open it, close it, see a recorder. Take the recording, put it back. Start the recording by pushing the circle button. Play the music. The person on the walkthrough played the whole song.
So did I, yeah. I assumed you had to have the whole thing.
Right. So I had just played it for a tiny little bit, and it ended up working. We had a little difficulty of whether, because I didn't have anything before. I don't know how that happened. But you don't need to play the whole song. You can just take the recording after you've started the playing it, and you'll have enough of it to do what you need to do later.
Mm-hmm.
After you've made your recording, you take the cylinder that's in the recorder with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're going to go to the restaurant.
Oh, actually, you forgot. You also get Titania's ear.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so you get Titania's ear once you've pushed the record button. I don't know. Somehow, somewhere in there, when you've made your recording, it's going to do a thing, and you're going to see that the ear changes, and it's going to say you've got one of Titania's ears. So now you have the second ear.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll go to the restaurant.
You got it. Another very frustrating scene.
Yes. You're going to see the maitre d' bot, and he's going to be in pieces. He is going to have an arm that you can take that's holding Titania's green auditory center. But you really can't do anything else because the maitre d' keeps trying to stop you. So evidently, like the Black Knight, you just keep poking the maitre d' and he will give you all of the insults very similar to the Black Knight.
And of course, it's in a French accent.
Right. Yeah. And he will eventually relent and put in the white towel, and he will give up, and he will let you do what you want, which is basically go up to the guy that is behind him with his head in a bowl of soup, which happens to be Scralliantis.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the menu that you couldn't see before is a second arm that is holding a key. There's also a napkin and a green fuse. So you take all of that. However, you need to make the maitre d''s arm let go of this auditory center.
Auditory center. Yeah, I gotcha.
You have to make the maitre d's arm let go of Titania's green auditory center. And to do that, you need to play some calming music. Well, what luck you have just made the way he played it. All of this beautiful music.
Right.
So in the entryway, there is a kind of a desk that has a roll top that is locked. But because you now have the key in the maitre d''s arm, you can go back there and there's nothing to do. You just put the arm and it unlocks it. There's no other thing. That one was actually very simple.
Yeah, which is really odd because immediately after you do that, of course, you put the music into the music box, it plays, and you go back into the dining area, and the maitre d' is very relaxed.
Yes.
And his hands let go, and now you actually have the key and the auditory center in your inventory, as well as both of his arms.
Right.
You get the key after you needed the key, and after that, you can't use the key.
Right, right. So if you were wondering what that song sounded like, I'm going to play the song for you now. But if you happen to be holding on to something, you might want to put it down, as this music may make you drop it. Wasn't that beautiful? Yeah. Wasn't that beautiful?
Yes. Yes, it was fantastic.
So now you can go to any Supergalactic Traveler class floor, go to that room, go behind the door, break the glass, get your long stick. It's immediately going to be replaced. It will not let you break the glass again with the hammer. It's one stick per person. Now, you go to Titania's chamber, and you go to the room with the fuse box. You put in the green fuse, and you turn the switch on. Again, a lot of walking and traveling in elevators and going up and going down and flipping upside down. You know, this was 12 of the 13 hours that we played.
Yes, exactly.
Now that all the fuses are in, all the switches are on, you can go back to the Arboretum. And when you open it up, now that you have the long stick, it's already on summer. you just start waving the stick around, and you will see that there's this yellow fruit over there, and lo and behold, a lemon will fall out of the tree. So you take the lemon. You change the season to autumn, and you're going to see that there is a red thing in one of these branches. Use your long stick and kind of wave it at there for a while. Boom, 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 boom. And then it's going to drop the red speech center. Now, change the season to winter. Go over to that fake Pellarator and turn and look at that gondola that you looked at before. But now it's frozen in the canal, and all the water is frozen out to it. So you can now walk all the way out to that gondola. What happened to me the first time we played this game is I did not have 2 of Maitre D-Bot's arms at this point. I may not have had any.
Right.
You know, because you're playing this in your own weird roundabout way doing discovery.
Right.
So there is this gondola, and you take off this panel, and there are these 2 levers. You can pull one of the levers down, but as you do, the other lever goes up. So you pull the other lever, and the other one goes up. And then you can use one of the Maitre D-Bot's arms and put it on a lever, and it will hold it down. And then you can pull down the second lever. But you're doing something, so you can't do anything else.
Right.
You need the second Maitre D-Bot arm to go on the second lever to pull it down, which then will release the mouth of the gondolier. So now you have Titania's mouth.
Right. Even when he's playing it through, he's having trouble getting the Maitre D's arms to hold on to the levers.
Right. Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. He knew exactly what he had to do, but was still having trouble doing it.
Yes. Yeah. So at this point, you can't leave by any method because everything is frozen. So you have to go back to the Arboretum and change the season to spring so everything melts, and then you can leave either by the gondola or through the Pellarator. So now we're going to get some chicken. Here is something that you learn in Discovery that he bypasses all the way through here.
Completely.
So the first time you found the fuse box and you turned on the fuse that evidently has a chicken next to it, you think, oh, here's how I get my chicken. So then you're going to go to your floor, you're going to open it, you're going to click the button, and ta-da, you get your hot, greasy chicken. And you put it in your inventory, and you play the game for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Trying to figure out, how do I get this hot, greasy chicken to this dang parrot?
Right.
And then you come up with an idea that says, well, wait a minute, I can get my hot, greasy chicken to the second class room. How do I get my parrot to the room to eat the chicken?
Right. Yes.
And of course, that doesn't work either.
The first thing you're going to learn is that when you're walking around with your hot, greasy chicken, it's going to turn into a cold, greasy chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can't just keep this hot, greasy chicken with you the entire game and then use it when you discover what you're going to need to do with it because it's too cold and you're going to have to get rid of it and then go get another hot, greasy chicken.
Right.
So the solution to this is that you get a hot, greasy chicken. If you remember when I was talking about the menu, it was talking about all the different varieties of sauces that were available for the chicken.
And it seems so long ago. And
Yes.
by the time you've played the game as long as we did, you forget all about it.
Yes. And if you look very closely at the chicken dispenser, you can see that there are actually sauce dispensers up there, but they're not obvious. And it doesn't say sauce dispenser.
Obvious. No.
So if you hold your chicken under the far left dispenser, the pureed starling, this purple goo, is going to come out. Because the chicken is greasy, it is going to slide off, and you hold your glass underneath it, and you collect your pureed starling. But now, because you can't send a chicken through the succubus without it eating it, you have to take your napkin and you have to clean off the chicken of all the grease. You have to put it under the middle one, which is going to put mustard sauce on it. And now you can send it to the Parrot room because the succubus does not like mustard, so he won't eat it.
And neither does a chicken, by the way.
Right.
And all of these things have to be discovered.
Right. Because you have used the Parrot room chevron that you saved to send the chicken to the Parrot room, you go get it. And you have to wipe the mustard off the chicken because the Parrot, as you mentioned, does not like mustard either.
Right.
And if you waste too much time...
Yeah, it's gonna turn into a cold chicken.
Right. So you need to get the perch that the Parrot is on, and he keeps yelling at you if you try to get it. So you need to lure him off the perch. And I told you how to do this, and you did it with no problem, and
Absolutely.
I couldn't do it.
I still can't quite figure it out. Because you told me exactly what to do. I did exactly what you told me, and it worked.
Yes. So when I was trying it, I was holding the chicken on the left side of the screen so the Parrot would move over to the left side of the screen and then he would eat it. I wasn't holding it far enough to the left side of the screen where the Parrot had to stick his head out the cage
Right.
and come totally off the perch, and then I could take the perch.
Right. When you watch the playthrough, you can see the position of the chicken that way. But when I played the game, I didn't really see that happen. In fact, I was so eager of getting the perch, I wasn't concentrating on the chicken or the Parrot. I was just like ready to click the perch as soon as I could, as soon as he stepped to the right or step to the left rather. So
the perch is actually Titania's intelligence core. So that's why the spare perch was over on the pillows, because Titania's intelligence core was being used as the perch.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're in the Parrot room, you can turn around and you can go back to the sneezing sconce, and you can use the succubus to blow the nose out with the hose.
Right.
So through a couple of different things, you connect up the hoses and the nose will blow out and you take the nose. Now, go over to the television and call the bellbot and ask it to throw the TV down the well. Because he's in the agreeable position, he's going to say, sure thing. Revolution. And he's going to throw the TV down the well.
Right. And it's funny because basically you can get him to do that as soon as you've modified the statue in the statue room.
Yes.
So you can get him to do that way earlier in the game.
Right. So now you go over to the elevator. And if you've paid attention every time you've asked to go to the top floor, the lift bot has always said, top of the well, and you get out. Well, if there's a top of the well, there has to be a bottom of the well. So you ask the lift bot to take you to the bottom of the well. And they'll take you to the bottom of the well. I guess if you know the floor number, you can tell them the floor number. But nowhere ever do they say that there's a bottom of the well in the elevator settings.
Right, except when you do look at the pet, and we didn't really talk about that, but if you look at the pet's got, on the right side, it's got like 4 different icons you can click, including the save icon at the bottom. But I can't remember which one it is. One of the middle two, if you click on one of the middle two when you're in the elevator, it'll give you a little picture on the left-hand side, in 3 of its little storage areas. And if you hover over the picture, one of them says bottom of the well. So you can actually click on that one and then it activates a button and you can push the button and then the elevator will go down to the bottom of the well.
Never saw that.
Or like you say, you can type in bottom of the well or bottom and it'll take you to the bottom.
I think I tried typing just bottom in once and it
didn't work?
No, it thought I was talking about its ass.
Well, that would be typical.
So you have to type bottom of the well.
Right.
So when you go to the bottom of the well to collect the TV, you'll see the crushed TV. You will also see a sphere on the floor. And that sphere is a lift bot head. And you will take the head. What you may not have noticed is that one of the 4 elevators is broken.
And the
reason you never notice it is you are never asked to take the broken elevator.
That's right. You're asked, is it elevator
4?
3? 4. Elevator 4. Yep. So your rooms, you get to 1, 2, and 3, but not 4.
Right. So you're never asked to take elevator 4, so you will never try elevator 4.
Right. And it was so funny because this is the trouble you and I both got into. For whatever reason, and I still cannot fathom what I was thinking or how it happened. But you had said to us, and I think we were playing at the same time, okay, well, this is an elevator head. We got to get it to the elevator. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I thought, oh, well, the only elevator I haven't been to is elevator 4. And so I must have gone to floor 27 because that's where you can get onto elevator 4.
Yes.
So if you go to floor 27, you can get on elevator 4 and fix the elevator head and retrieve Titania's other eye.
Correct. Any other floor you cannot. It says it's an inoperable elevator.
Right. Every other floor, right?
Yes.
It says it's inoperable. And I did not realize when I described to Jeff that I must have done that. I must have gone to 27 and got on there without even thinking. Because I never experienced the elevators out of function message. Never.
Right. But on the TV, one of the channels showed floor 27, which is the key of where you need to go to fix the elevator. But that didn't dawn on me right away because you just said, just go to the elevator.
And even the walkthrough guy, the way he does it in the little exposure for the scene is after he gets the elevator head, he looks at the front screen of the elevator. And if you look at the screen of the elevator, it'll tell you where the elevator is.
Oh,
so
right.
he goes to elevator 4, and it shows that it's on floor 27. So he goes to elevator 3, goes to 27, then he goes to elevator 4 and gets in elevator 4. So that's how he discovered the answer to that.
Right. All right. So now that you have all the ingredients that you need, you're going to go back to the bar and you're going to give the bar bot the ingredients. And he'll put them all in and he'll do whatever. And then you'll ask him and he's like, well, once I finish this drink, you have to tell him to get the vodka, which he has behind the bar.
Right.
So
not obvious.
No.
Not obvious at all.
So then he gets the vodka and he puts it in and he does his little swirly drunk dance and he's all happy.
Right, because you even have to identify him what this blue goop is. You know, if you give it to him without telling him what it is, he'll put it in his head and not know that he has a pureed starling.
Yeah, you give him the glass of purple stuff and he says, what's this muck? And he dumps it in. And unless you tell him it's pureed starling, it's not an ingredient. Even though it's an ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now if you would like to, you can go down to a room you have not entered in Titania's chamber, and that's where the bomb is.
Mm-hmm.
And you can arm the bomb, and it's going to start counting. And if you disrupt it, it's going to start the countdown over. So if you did this at the beginning of the game, you can spend all game trying to make sure you get down there every 15 minutes and click it. So it restarts its counting. Or you can save the game before you arm it. And then if you're getting tired of that, you can just play from that point without doing it.
Yeah, because otherwise the robots will be reminding you that it might be a good idea to disarm that bomb.
Right.
I don't think I've ever played through to let the bomb go off. Does it? Will it? I don't even know.
I was reading about it, and I don't believe it ends your gameplay. The bomb will just explode when Titania takes off at the end of the game.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like the bomb is going to go off and you got to start over or from your last save.
Oh, well, that kind of makes sense because now we're going to get to Titania's room, right?
Right. Right.
So in theory, you've activated the bomb. You have no idea what the possible answer to the bomb question is.
Right. You've got this panel in front of you that you can click on and change letters. You've got John Cleese taunting you, telling me how many possible combinations that there are. And I think he exaggerates a little bit, but it was in the trillions of trillions.
Right. Exactly. And of course, every time you hit it with the hammer or poke it with a stick, or he'll tell you how he feels about that.
Right. You can go stand at Titania's head, and you can look down, and you can insert her 2 eyes, her 2 ears, her nose, and her mouth. And apparently all of the colored centers that you have to be in a correct position.
Right. And again, I don't know how you would know what they had to be until you get the tone that says you put them in correctly.
Right. Well, but there's 16 different possibilities, so you're just rearranging them. But I can never keep track where I put what when, and I would just be redoing and never get to the correct one. I know that the first time we played it, you told me how much trouble you had doing that, and I'm like, well, mine just worked. So I put them in the correct order somehow the first time I played.
Right.
And the way he had it in the walkthrough was yellow was the top left, red was the top right, blue was the bottom left, and green was the bottom right. And then Titania is going to stand, and here you will hear her message of gratitude.
Right.
I'm terribly sorry about the parrot. No, really. I know how it must have been for you. Leo couldn't stand parrots either. So typical of Leo. So clever, he could never see what was actually happening. Everyone used to say of him, nobody likes a smartass. He never saw how unfinished the ship was, that it was secretly being prepared for scuttling. Even I didn't realize till it was too late. And then they took my brain to pieces. Thank you for restoring it to me. My mind has been a bit of a blank, I'm afraid, and the ship has been wandering around in a dither. Leo has obviously been in a complete state, and probably jumped off the ship when you got onto it. Poor old nitwit. He's completely besotted with me. We should find him, I suppose. And you'll be wanting to get off home, of course.
Well, there it is. That's where she says, nobody likes a smartass.
Right. So you can go back to the bomb, and you can type in or add the code, nobody likes a smartass, which is kind of weird because some of these combinations are blanks, which I never would have expected.
Right. And you need to use those blanks between the letters because it's nobody on the top line.
With a space.
Yeah.
Nobody with a space.
Right. Nobody with a space. And likes with 2 spaces on either end.
Yep.
Smartass is the bottom line.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Weird.
And then there was a door in the center of Titania's chamber by her head that will never open, which is now open, and you can take a transport to the bridge.
And this is where I left my brain in Titania's fruit.
Right.
And tried to play through the last scene.
Yeah. The first thing you will see is a meaningless wheel that you can spin. So you can spin that all you want. It's meaningless.
You can click the middle and seagulls will squawk.
Okay. There's a navigation console. And you can insert the picture of the night sky that you have because you need that for your navigation home.
Right.
Evidently, there is a way that you can play a game that lines up all of the stars to where you need to be. I didn't even attempt that.
I did.
Because there's an option to let the computer figure it out for you.
Right, exactly. So if you wanted to know how to do that, this is kind of funny. Because the original box, and I was playing with it today because I wondered if I still had them. But in the original box, you got a pair of 3D glasses. You
Right.
know, one of those red, blue glasses.
Right.
And this is where you were actually supposed to put them on. And when I was playing the other day, when we were wrapping up the game and trying to figure it out, I completely forgot that my pet would allow me to put the headset that's above the slot where you put the pictures
Right.
in. So you activate the headset and it gives you a starry map. You select the destination of the picture. And then the idea is you click on 3 random stars. Didn't matter which ones you picked. 3 random stars in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would take you to this screen where you had to move the screen around a little bit until the star that you picked and the little tiny X mark lined up and the light turned green and you hit set destination. And then you did that 3 times. You went back to the picture with the house, picked a different star, went back to the map, lined it up, picked a different star, went back to the map, lined it up. And once you had all 3, you hit set destination again. And then you went up to the console and pushed the go button.
Right.
Or you did what both you and I did.
Just let the computer do it.
Exactly. You go to the other side and
right.
The other side has like a laptop kind of thing.
Yes.
And again, I forgot that my pet could turn it on. How dumb am I?
Well, the thing is, the activation of the laptop in the pet looks like a TV.
Yes, it does. It does. And that completely threw me. Even though I knew what I had to do later, I'm like, what? This is a television on a laptop.
Right.
So eventually, if you do that, what happens next, Jeff?
You will be taken back to your destroyed home, and you will hear a message from Leovinus, a.k.a. Douglas Adams. And here is the message.
Good afternoon. My name is Leovinus. You probably know that. I'm sorry about what's happened to you. I'm even more sorry about what's happened to me. You have lost a house. I have lost a life and a dream. You may not care about my life and my dream. Well, I don't really care about your house. Building this ship was my dream, and now that dream is over. All I want is the love of a good woman, and also a fishing rod. Thank you for restoring Titania. I know she isn't real. Well, she's real, but she's not really real, if you see what I mean. So, to be honest, I'm more inclined to place long-term faith in the fishing rod. By the galactic laws of salvage, this ship is now yours. There is nothing like her in the universe. I wish you joy of her. I hope you manage to sort out the bomb. As for me, don't try to look for me. You won't find me. My life's work is done, and I've gone fishing. Goodbye.
Well, isn't it ironic that he says that he lost his life?
Yes.
And his dream.
Right.
In that message.
But we lost our house.
Yes, we lost our house. It's quite fascinating, the irony in my mind of that little speech that he gives there.
Yes.
As we complete the game. And we kind of come to a position in our podcast where we're a little confused, aren't we?
We are very confused, not just a little confused.
Because this is officially, from our perspective, this is the final piece of Douglas Adams material that we have been able to determine is something we would discuss.
There are other things that he's done, but I have no idea how to find them. Like, what I didn't know is there is another video game that he created called Bureaucracy. I can find it and download it for DOS.
Oh,
and my computer is old.
Right.
But it isn't using DOS.
That old.
So you,
oh my gosh.
You can get the game, but because I don't have a DOS player, like, I'm sure that there are people out there who know how to have some kind of a DOS simulator running in Windows and they could play a game within a game type of thing. But that's beyond me. So
right. Is that like do you know for sure? I'm assuming that that's all text driven. Like the original Zork or whatever?
Yes, I'm
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure it is. So if anybody out there knows of that game and has that game or how to get that game, let us know, because then we can play it and we'll talk about it. I might talk to one of my computer buddies and say, hey, if I wanted to play an old DOS game on Windows, how would I do it? And he might say, you can't. Do you have an old DOS computer? He'll say, no. So I don't have high hopes on all of that, but
Right.
yeah,
right.
We're going to be figuring things out and talking about different things that are kind of off topic of Douglas Adams and Hitchhikers, but we hope to have it kind of relevant.
Right. I think we're going to stay within the fandom.
Yeah.
As far as I can see. And we're going to try and continue to search out new life, new civilizations.
Oh, you're switching fandoms.
And go boldly
Yeah.
where every other podcast has been before.
Yes, we're gonna become a true crime podcast.
There you go.
Because that's what we need, is another true crime podcast.
Oh gosh, isn't that something? But to ask the actual question, Jeff, do you know what we're going to discuss in our next podcast?
I think in our next podcast, we should do a TV show that features somebody called Professor Krenotis.
Interesting.
So this would be the lost, unfinished Doctor Who serial called Shada.
Interesting.
Shada was an unfinished... It was written, began to be filmed, and they abandoned it in the middle for some reason. And then they finished it in a couple of ways. They either had somebody like Tom Baker, who stars in it, describe what was happening in all of the scenes that were never filmed, or because they had a script, they finished it with animation. And I believe that's the one that I have found. I have not seen the animated one yet.
Wow.
I'm not 100% sure if this is the one. I'm going to research it and we'll talk about it in more detail there. But Douglas wanted this lost forever.
Oh, interesting.
And I thought I heard or read somewhere that his secretary was giving him a bunch of stuff that he needed to sign for some reason, like that whole stack of papers.
Right.
And in the middle of the stack of papers was the release of Shada to the BBC to finish it, to put it out.
Okay.
So he's just signing. He's not even reading what he's signing. His secretary just brought him a bunch of stuff to sign, and he signed, and he signed, and he signed, and he signed. And then the BBC got the rights that he released Shada to be finished and put out there.
Wow.
So we are going to watch the 6-episode Shada, and we will talk about that first Thursday of next month. But before we go, Brian...
Yes.
Do you think anybody who is a fan of these computer games and Douglas Adams should seek out and attempt to play Starship Titanic?
Well, that's a good question. That's an excellent question. You and I played it way back when, and I remember that we had some struggles getting through it. And it would have been prior to, I don't think this one ever had, a game book that came out, or it was before internet was popular enough to give us all the little answers we needed.
Right.
So I don't recall ever even completing the game, to be honest, but I'm assuming we did.
Yeah, I'm sure we must have found some way to have completed the game, but
Right.
I don't know where we got our help or our
Right.
hints.
Right. And here, you and I, having had the experience of having played it the first time and playing it again, it's a good question, because literally 13 hours of gameplay And it would have probably been 20 hours of gameplay unassisted. Easy. And I don't even know that would have given us the answers that we needed without the ticklers that we got from the internet. So, although fun, entertaining, definitely had some humor in it, I don't know. It's a good question, Jeff.
Okay.
I'm not sure I have a good answer.
Because of how prevalent walkthroughs and help and tips are online now, if you want to eliminate your frustration, you can play the game, and as soon as you get stuck, you can look up, how do I solve this puzzle?
Right.
And it will tell you.
Right.
I will warn you, a lot of times you're going to get an answer where you're going to tell yourself, damn, I could have figured that out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be sad that you didn't go through the discovery process to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are others that you will never figure out without knowing how it's done.
I agree. Well, you could listen to our podcast 5 or 6 times.
Right.
Maybe that'll help you through when you get stuck. So I would definitely encourage people to do that.
If you're curious about it, it's a beautiful game. I love the style of it. It does give you a little glimpse into Douglas's mind and how he thinks and how he puts together a game. If you're not a completist who has to finish it, if you can walk away in the middle going, oh, I got my 3 upgrades and I've seen all the levels, I'm done. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Just go look at it. I mean, he put a lot of work into this. If you need to finish it, you can get every hint you want. You could play together or just watch a walkthrough and play along with it.
Right.
However, when you are playing the game, you cannot do anything else on your computer except play that game.
Right.
You can't play this game and search. So you have to search on your phone and then play the game because it takes over.
Yeah, can't move your cursor off the screen at all.
No. No, even if you've got side-by-side screens.
Mm-hmm. Which is the way we played, yep.
You cannot go to your other screen.
Right. That was interesting. And I learned a lot about the ODBC concept and how you can watch a game and record it at the same time. But still, I can't believe how these podcasters are able to do that in live podcasts and live playthroughs. It's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy world out there.
Right.
But it is a fun game and certainly beautiful to look at.
Well, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this. And I actually hope you go out and at least take a look at the game somehow, even if you just watch a walkthrough, just to see all of the different screens.
Absolutely. And remember, everything is connected.
Everything is connected. So now that we've got that out of the way, I guess I have to say that this is the end. Thank you for listening to this. A new episode is released on the first Thursday of every month. A special thank you goes out to Luke, Max, Greg, and Tim Lesnick for arranging and performing our opening theme. Visit our website at digitalwatchesareaprettyneatidea.buzzsprout.com. While there, you can find links to all of my Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy inspired t-shirt designs. You can contact us via email at digitalwatchespodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook at Digital Watches Are a Pretty Neat Idea. You can message us on Twitter, or should I say X, at Watches Idea, and our Instagram is Watches Idea Podcast.
This has been a Froods for Thought production.